ladies, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, hello, I am very happy to be here with you today. Okay, you're probably like, Adam, what is going on? Are you going through an identity crisis? Well, always, to that, but no, today. I actually got surgery yesterday, on my eye, and I am in a lot of pain, and I am very swollen, and looking into lights is sore right now. And if you don't believe me, let me prove to you, because I know bitches in the comments are gonna be saying, he's lying, which I don't really know, because I'm not taking time off. So like, oh wait, I was gonna pull this up, this is how bad my eyes are right now, and I was like, here's my picture! No, okay, so here is what I looked like all yesterday. It was all bandaged up. But I still wanted to crack on with videos today, but, I tried filming earlier, and I just woke up and my eye is very swollen and quite bruised, and just... Regardless though, I'm happy to be here with you. That's just explaining this, but that is not the purpose of today's video. So, hello, welcome, I hope you're all doing great. We've got to talk about Sir Ryland Adams, the lapdog. I didn't say it, you said it. So, okay. As we're all aware, this drama with Trisha, with Ryland, with Shane does not need explained anymore. However, whenever they keep bringing it up and adding fuel to the fire that's already on fire, like fire that's on fire, on top of fire, that's already there. But whenever they keep adding things, new people are finding the drama, and just quickly explained in literally 30 seconds. How can I condense this? Okay, Hair by Jay, Jeffree Star's hairstylist and best friend, shit-talked and harassed and bullied Trisha Paytas on Instagram Live. She responded, crying and very upset. And then Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson were not voicing their support for her. She said, fuck you, Jeffree, I don't care about you anyway. But Shane and Ryland, why aren't you supporting me? And why are you still following Hair by Jay? Then, Trisha starts doing exposes on Shane and Ryland because she's upset that they basically just dropped her. Shane texts Trisha allegedly saying, let's forget about the drama, stop making videos, just come over and eat food with me. Trisha makes more exposed videos. Then Ryland goes on his podcast and basically gaslights his entire audience, allegedly, by saying that he doesn't understand why Trisha's so angry, like Trisha should have just came to us. That, and then it's just keep going. So Ryland's podcast has been getting some amount of backlash since the start of the podcast, but just now with all of this that he keeps backing down, and Shane edits his podcast, we've been told. So they're both doing this group effort to like try clear their name from the drama, and it's just adding fire to something that is not needing any more gasoline on it. So Ryland has done a bunch of little updates, but now he's just done a new podcast episode, and it's titled Feeling Lost. And the entire, we're gonna watch the clip, but the entire podcast is basically them just talking about how negative social media is, and how it gets a bit too much, and how like the validation of social media is like not what they want anymore. But it was whenever they weren't getting called out. And it's also very important to keep in mind that Ryland Adams' podcast is a tea podcast, is a drama podcast. He talks about the drama of YouTubers and celebrities, and the tea with YouTubers and celebrities, and he has no problem doing that. But now it's on him, and he's not addressing things, disabling comments, disabling likes and dislikes, so he can't get his own fans' feedback on it, or constructive criticism, and is now doubling down against social media being negative, and he's trying to go in on himself, and to learn about himself, and the art of ego, and how not to have an ego, and it's like, you had no problem having all of this before you were called out, and it's like, it's like, the fans of these people, Shane Dawson and Ryland in particular, if Ryland has any fans, I think it's just a subcategory of Shane Dawson ones, because as we're aware, Ryland Adams is incredibly boring. And no shade. Oh, am I a tea fucking podcast now, Ryland? Like, the fans of these people are like, drama channels are so fake. They can give it, they can dish it, but they can't get it. If you could see my eyes, I'm rolling them right now. Like, this is exactly what your king, your little lapdog, Ryland is doing. He can give it. He can do the titles, you know, about Jeffree Star and about celebrities, and look at this exposed video we have on that. He can do all that. But now that he's involved in a drama, he addressed it poorly by basically gaslighting Trisha and his audience and saying that, oh, she's the issue. People didn't like that. So now it's social media is too negative and too toxic. And it's like, okay, if you believe that, go take your break. which you said you were going to do, Ryland. You said, you know, you deleted all the apps off your phone or whatever. Okay, it doesn't mean you need to come up to us and preach that social media is negative and you need to learn about all these fucking things about the human body that makes us want attention and love drama and all like this. Whenever your podcast has an audience because it is that. Are we not understanding this? Let's just get straight into the clip, right? So, let me show you what the podcast was called. As I told you, Feeling Lost. And speaking on ego and all like this, Ryland, it's pretty interesting to note that your podcast is with a co-host who's as equally involved in the conversation and the podcast as you are, yet it will only ever be like you in the thumbnail. And about you. It's called The Sip. Not Ryland Adams. Maybe write that one down whenever you're doing your self-discovery, Ryland. So hypocritical. So this is 42 minutes of content that could have been condensed in 12 minutes. 12 minutes? 6 minutes. But that's coming from Adam McIntyre, who likes talking, so I'm not going to judge. But I'm judging. So let's just get straight into it, where they're talking about teenagers loving drama too much. Well, fuck, you're lucky teenagers love drama so much because you're getting views because you're a drama channel podcast. Hate to, like, break it to you, I thought this was common knowledge, and even you address it yourself, but let's just get straight into it.
Teenagers in today's day and age are ruled by being socially involved through their phone.
Yeah.
And
if they weren't, no one would have YouTube on their phone to watch your podcast, Ryland. Are we doing this? Is this the approach we're taking, Ryland? Is it?
it's just really, really bad, and I think that's why
it's bad. That's your income.
Everything about
that's your income, and literally all of your money coming from Shane as it is. SUGARBABY. All your money coming from that is because teenagers and young kids have a facility that they can have a phone to have YouTube. I love whenever these rich people who are rich because of young teenagers and fucking having their app on their phone, they can watch their platform and see ads, complain about teenagers have, it's like, oh my, great start. I love the start of this.
It's just really, really bad, and I think that's why I'm recontemplating everything about my purpose in life, because it's like, we're on one end of the spectrum becoming like self-actualized, realized people, but then what's being promoted to us and what does well online is negativity.
Yeah.
And so like Twitter.
You're a podcast that covers drama! Your podcast is negative. If you tell it in an uplifting way, it's still negative subjects. Are we? Come on! Drama channels are negative topics. Some drama channels approach it from a more negative, like, serious way. Some of them do it in a more uplifting way. You do it in an uplifting way. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's still the negative side of social media. All social media is negative. You're lucky it is, because that's why people are interested in you. Then you get to buy your little Gucci. You know what I mean?
YouTube, the news, it's all like doomsday 24/7, and it's like this weird complex of we're trying to be good people, but we're still like honestly consumed by the bad.
This is all coming from him refusing to say, I'm sorry, 2 words, to Trisha Paytas, and also, I'm sorry to his audience. This is all stemming from that. Ugh. Give me a break.
Addicted to negativity. We're full blown, like it's like our brains are engaged in this drama, and it forces us to like stay tied to it.
Now, Lizzie, I know nothing about you, but let's not be hypocritical. We're all tied to this drama. That's why you can make 40 minutes out of it. Every week. Every week. Are these people not getting it? They have a problem with it now because they're getting called out, but they're still doing it.
And never seek a resolution because this is what's feeding us.
Yeah, and I've been doing, like, recently I read a book on ego. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about ego and how we're all so
Y'all, it's okay. It's okay. He doesn't have to take accountability or apologize because he read a book about ego. Perfect. Oh my god, you know what I mean? Like, no one is taking this podcast seriously, by the way. I'm gonna read you out some comments. Just keep that in mind also.
To that, and I think social media really majors in today's day up a person's ego, which is not great, because those are all the personality traits that are, I am what is in my bank account. I am my social media.
Sorry. I think it's incredibly hypocritical, in my sole opinion only, that Ryland Adams is complaining about people just caring about money and worth. Let's all take that in a second. Ryland Adams, Shane Dawson's fiance and lapdog, the one who in every Shane Dawson video is talking about money. Shane, make more money. Shane, make more money so you can buy me this. Jeffrey wants to sleep with Garrett. Oh, if he does it for money. You're talking to us that the negative traits we have is caring too much about money? Darling, speak for yourself. Focus on you. Now let's be real, Ryland. I heard that your name is Ryan, and I think that's a lot funnier than Ryland. Besides the point. I respect it. I study a lot of spirituality, but I know that if I fully was like 100% into spirituality, that I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. And you would know that too. If you're reading about ego and you're reading about all this, our YouTube channels are us having egos. My YouTube channel is called Adam McIntyre. I'm talking to you. Ryland, your podcast is with 2 people, but you have you as the sole focus in the thumbnails and all the promotion. So if you really cared and you're trying to do like, I read books and audio about ego and in on myself and what really matters, obviously you're not taking it very seriously if you're still continuing with this path. And that's coming from me saying that I can't fully be like, oh, ego and spirituality and talking about like only caring about myself and focusing on myself and all my positive energy whenever you have a YouTube channel that's like calling out other people, or a YouTube channel. And so if you really were, Ryland, you're not doing a good job at it. Just my opinion though. So, take with that what you will. You seem to do that with everyone's opinions. But, alas, here we go on. Okay, here we go.
By fear indicators.
Wait.
And that's what
it's drama and fear.
We're not those things.
Yeah.
If we would like rip back the veil and see people for what they are. But it's hard because then like what does well.
Sorry to pause. Ryland, your obsession with Jeffree Star contradicts this.
Or what attracts people, like Twitter, 90% of the trending thing is drama and fear. A video that does well on YouTube is a dramatized, like you're exploiting, and that's why I'm having
oh my god. Your channel, your podcast channel, has other celebrity, other YouTuber names in the title and thumbnail. You talk about the drama. You're a self-proclaimed tea podcast. You're like, oh, people just do drama to get clicks or whatever. So do you. Just because your attempt isn't as successful as some other people's doesn't mean you can now criticize it. And this is all stemming from you just refusing to say, I'm sorry. And you're doubling down because you have to at this stage.
This weird thing, because like, YouTube specifically, sorry.
No, I was just going to say this is like a really interesting thing because like our brains are evolutionarily programmed to seek to be activated by fear indicators and stress indicators for survival.
Right.
But because none of us are actually trying to survive
this is
anymore,
so fake,
specifically like in America, right? Like our value of life is pretty great out here.
Mm-hmm.
We seek that out elsewhere. So like I was studying
up a person's ego, which is not great because those are all the personality traits that are I am what is in my bank account.
I'm trying not to laugh
at this. I am my social media following. I am my accomplishments. I am my past. And
film and cinematography and things like that.
Right.
And there's this book on composition that specifically states like these types of images evoke fear in a person and make somebody stop and watch it because of that evolutionary trait. So like all media, film and cinematography and things like that.
Right.
And there's this book on composition that
y'all could have just said, I'm like, sorry, and people would have been like,
types of images
you don't have to double down
in a person and make somebody stop.
They're doing all this
and
for what?
Evolutionary trait. So like all
so
media,
then Ryland came on his Instagram story to address, and I haven't even watched this part yet, so we'll watch this together.
I don't want you to think the whole episode of this podcast is like down on my luck, because it's not that. I think it's more so I've hit a wall with everything, you know, and normally I like our podcast to be an escape for everyone that's tuning in, and I still think it is this week, but I couldn't help but put a little bit of like my what is the purpose of anything and my philosophy on it inside of the episode. So I hope you like it. You can swipe up right now to watch. I don't want you to think the whole episode of...
Let me read you out some comments before I get into it, right? So this is what people are thinking. For Ethan, it's obvious that Trisha gets a cut from the Frenemies merch and podcast. Ryland, on the other hand, can't even be bothered to put Lizzie in the thumbnail in regards to him talking about ego and stuff. Not him saying something new and people being able to like call him out on that too. I can't believe y'all just can't address the drama. Someone said, so sus how the comments on the podcast are all negative. Or no, sorry, are all positive, but the ones on the community post that he doesn't vet are all negative. Someone said, not a fan of Trisha personally, but I have seen her through herself through every cancellation, and she's defended you guys with no regard for herself. And watching you guys sidestep her speaks volumes on who you two are. This sip needs to show some loyalty. He stopped putting timestamps in the description so we can skip to the interesting parts. I think he hoped that we would just watch the entire thing. So this was Ryland's podcast, used to do like segments, but he stopped doing that because people were just skipping to like the drama parts. Because, obviously, people are saying stream Sweet Boys, which is Garrett and Andrews. People are saying that it doesn't make any sense how he's saying all this whenever his actions are not reflecting that. Someone said, here for the comments, this podcast is boring. What's sad is I believe YouTube drama is what feeds you, yet you don't want it. Here is what... There's like... They're doubling down on it, right? And I think they're so deep in this that they have to. But if you're going to do that, don't give the audience something that they can then call you out on being hypocritical about. You're saying that the internet loves drama so much. You're lucky because that's your job now. Your job is a drama podcast. The world is so negative. The topics you talk about are negative and you say them in an uplifting way. Let's get this through. And it's like, you're not better than any of us. And so this God complex of, you know, first of all, you can't even just say you're sorry and get this over and fucking done with. You know, we keep having to talk about this because every week you have to double down. And now you're doing about, what is it? Like, all this fucking science shit about ego and whatever. It's like, oh my god, like, I'm sorry. 2 words. And you wouldn't have to keep, and like, you're getting so many dislikes, so many negative comments. And like, are you not even seeing this? And, well, they are, but obviously more money. I get it. Oh, and there you go. Negative, more money, and this is what you've been doing on your YouTube channel too. So, like, if you didn't say this, you know, fine, you're doing it and you're not being hypocritical about it, but now you're coming out and being hypocritical about the sole thing that gets you views these days. Shane is in a lot of shit, and you know, whenever your views, you put him in the thumbnail and people are like, oh, Shane update. Ryland, we see through it. I have no problem calling it out, and I know other people are calling it out, and it's like, don't leave yourself so open to people being able to be like, this podcast is a disaster. Oh, well, I love how it's now like Sweet Boys versus The Sip versus Frenemies. Guys, what's your opinion on this? It's just super, super, super weird. Like, it's like, it's just so hypocritical and so embarrassing, honestly. And again, Lizzie, I know nothing about you, but honestly, just guilty by association. And I hate to say that, but it's like, you're even doubling down on this as well, and you're in a job right now because of drama. Your podcast is drama, so I don't know why you're so scared to admit that, but, I mean, we will. Guys, again, we'll talk about it below. The comments are speaking for themselves. I don't know why they just keep going more and more in with this. I've said it before that I believe Shane is business smart, and if he's behind this podcast as well, why is he greenlighting all this? Like, it's just like, maybe they do want negative attention, and oh my god, their egos! What a mess. I love you. I'll see you in my next one, and peace. Bye-bye.